Hello. Can you hear me? I'm really unaccustomed to speechifying, much more silly than I am in these formal events. I am very, very moved to be here and very honored to be here. As I saw Prince Harry, I'm reminded that I'm British by heritage, American by God's grace, and Canadian by divine intervention. I actually have 3 passports, which would make me an international man of mystery. I'd also like to thank Shagwire. Fantastic. Good evening. I'd like to thank Ambassador McNaughton for hosting this great event, and I'd like to thank Ken Fisher and the entire Invictus Games team for asking me to be part of this incredible experience. Well, I come from a military family. My mother was in the Royal Air Force. She served during World War II. She was one of those ladies that you see in World War II movies when they have the perspex-covered map of England, and she has the baccarat stick and the big headset, and the guy comes in and says, "Jerry's over Norfolk. Scramble Biggin Hill." And the lady would push the little map, the British, RAF unit towards the Luftwaffe bandits. And that's what my mom did. His true story is that my mom knew about the ultra secret. She knew about the reading of the Enigma codes. And I, of course, was fascinated with all things World War II because, my parents both fought in it, and we're watching the show and it says, "Now it can be told that the British read all of the codes." And I said, "Did you know about that?" And she said, "Yes, of course I did." I said, "You never told me." It was 1983. She goes, "No, Michael, I signed a piece of paper." Which is why the World War II generation are the best generation ever. As if I was going to tell the Germans, My father was in the Royal Engineers of the British Army and served during the second phase of Operation Market Garden. Bridge building, mostly, mine clearing and anti-aircraft batteries and stuff like that. My father often recited the unofficial motto of the Royal Engineers, which is, "We do the impossible immediately, miracles take a little longer." Both my parents spoke of their hatred of fascism, which is strange when you're a little kid growing up in Toronto, but it actually means a lot to me. They spoke of the nobility of fighting for democracy. It's very moving to me. That generation, man. Fantastic. So, the tradition of fighting for the ideals that Britain, Canada, and America stand for, very fantastic, very worth it, and very, I'm going to say it godly. I'm not terribly religious, but I feel that way. He spoke of the unbreakable brotherhood of those who serve. He remembered the name of every single British soldier he served with, and there were hundreds of them. For every name, there was a hilarious story. He joined the Royal Engineers at the age of 14, and they raised him. And so therefore, the Royal Engineers raised me, is how I feel, because all the values that he learned in the Royal Engineers were very important in my house. The number one lesson was those that serve our country deserve our utmost respect. And in honor of Sapper Eric Myers of the Royal Engineers, you have my deepest respect, admiration, and gratitude. I thank you. I know that my father's in heaven right now, wishing he could be here with this fantastic band of brothers and sisters. And he's here in spirit. And speaking of spirit, as you know, the spirit of the Invictus Games comes from the William Ernest Henley poem, Invictus. In my opinion, the spirit is summed up by the last 4 lines of the poem, which is, "It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul." This is about empowerment, folks. And for me, that's what I was raised with. I was raised with, it didn't look good there for a while for Britain. And we stayed in the game, and that's what life is about. is staying in the game. Every one of the competitors traveling to Orlando in just over 50 days represents the same unconquerable Invictus spirit. They've been bloodied by war, undergone surgery upon surgery, facing some of the darkest pain imaginable, yet each of them have an unwillingness to let circumstance determine fate. The Invictus Games offered injured and ill service members an avenue for rehabilitation, fulfillment, personal achievement, and recovery through the power of sport, and that's why I'm here today. I believe in this organization. I'm inspired to help generate a wider understanding and respect for those who serve their country, as well as their family and caregivers. My politics are progressive. I am a progressive. I am thrilled that Trudeau is our Prime Minister. I'll say it, there we have it. I was raised with Trudeau. I'm here too also on behalf of progressive people. We need to have our face out there saying that we do thank everybody who serves our country. And that's a challenge I would love for more progressives to step forward. But entirely it is because of how I was raised, about my feeling about people in service. I'm inspired to also generate a wider understanding of respect for those who serve their country, as well as the families and the caregivers, which is also very important. Both my parents have Alzheimer's. My father died of it. My mother has it currently. It's a family disease, and same with being a wounded warrior. It's a family disease, and I want to encourage everybody to realize it's a country disease. And for the Western world, it's a Western world disease. We're fighting something very important. It's a very, very important thing. As an artist, I get to do my art. I get to speak what I say because of all of the sacrifices that you've made. Even though I make very silly things, I'd like to point out. But silly is very important, too. The Invictus competitors represent the very best of the human spirit, and I know that my father would have wanted me to support that spirit, those competitors and the thousands of wounded warriors around the world that they represent in the Games, which begin May 8th in Orlando in 2017, and then they're going to be in Toronto, which is going to be exciting. So I hope you all come up and have a great time. We're very nice people. My parents revered Winston Churchill. They've instilled in me the ethos that I see in the eyes of all the competitors and athletes in this room. Churchill said, never give in, never give in, never, 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 in nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. By your presence here, it's clear that you never give up. And it's also clear that these games represent the definition of honor and good sense. Thank you very much for your time, but more importantly, thank you very much for your service. Thank you.